to another episode of Ambient Bass Effects Afternoons. So, yeah, just doing a little playing around with some loops there. Appreciate everybody chiming in, even the random people who think they're going to get acknowledged, but you won't. But I appreciate your view. Thank you. So, there I kind of use a few different things. I use first off, I use my bass drive there in the beginning. Then I switched over and added the MXR bass synth. Then switched over to the Future Impact VIP, V4 VIP. So, I definitely like this little setup I got going on here. It's starting to grow on me. I don't really need too much. I'm actually starting to downsize. I think I'm selling like 8-9 pedals. You know what I'm saying? So like if you want to get new things in the door, this is what I tend to do. I try not to just hold on to a bunch of gear I'm not using. So if I find out I'm not really using something too much, I'll just go ahead and, sell it. I don't need to hoard a bunch of gear, then 10 years later you got a bunch of old gear that don't really mean much. Hit that like button for me while you're here. I definitely appreciate everybody hanging out. So, let's see, Future Impact. So, Future MXR bass synth. Bring that down. Matter of fact, let's put on this. Turn on a little swell vibrato in the Zoom MS-60 MS-70 CDR Plus. So one thing I really do like about the MXR bass synth is the fact that you can do this with the other synth pedals as well, but it is a little easier to do with the MXR bass synth pedal here, which is like go from one setting to another and morph in between those two. Now, you can do that with the Future Impact, but it would be a little bit more setting up things, and you would actually have to have it come through a MIDI controller of some sort, or some sort of MIDI device like a CME H2 MIDI Pro, something like that, running from a MIDI captain, and then use the expression inputs from the MIDI captain to control the changing of the oscillators and things like that. But with the MXR bass synth, it does make it easy to do that. Now, is the sound quality isn't as good as the Future Impact. Plus the Future Impact can play other synths and be played with a keyboard as well. So there's a reason to have both of them, to be honest. it's definitely growing on me. I would have to say it's definitely. I wouldn't say it's even growing on me. It's just a really good pedal in general that I'd say it's worth checking out for sure, especially if you really don't want to do any menu diving, but you will have to memorize a bunch of parameters. So it won't be as simple as you think it is to get to these sounds. Like, so I have mine kind of set up to do several different things in that aspect. Just one preset, all right? So the way I kind of look at it is, yes, one, I would recommend using an expression pedal with it, just because you can then morph between them. But when you're morphing between them, so say that's one of them, halfway, I get another synth in there, and then when I go all the way down, got like a lead synth type thing. So then if I wanted to do stuff like, or whatever, you want to do that type of stuff. Or just use it for fills. So you might be playing the bass line. So you got lots of options there with that being, on board. But I would say, definitely you want to have that expression pedal hooked up so you can morph between them, and that way, like, each preset is giving you like 3 different sounds, like 3 genuinely different sounds. That's in the middle. And depending on how much you lean towards either sound, I lean more towards the bass sound. Versus if I lean more towards the solo sound, I can still keep some of that other oscillator in there. Now, another little trick I like to use with this pedal, excuse me, is I like to, when I'm having the different settings, say like I'm using this one. Right? Let me turn off this reverb. I can have this other preset, so say that was heel down, toe down, I can have set to a whole different thing. So take the heel down, let's say we'll mix it with a saw wave on top. And not only are we going to mix it with the saw wave, we're going to make it all the upper octave. So in order to get this to sound less like a toy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of this resonance down. So I don't want this to operate off of oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's just a reaction to something, to this fret rep. Like muting it at the end. It's like gliding up. That's crazy. But yeah, you can get some really killer sounds with this thing. Definitely, I would not sleep on it. You know, I will say, make sure, hopefully it's a little clear. Make sure that you guys are really taking the time to experiment with the gear. I've seen a lot of people get these on any unit. I've seen a lot of people get the Future Impact unit, Enzo X, and they return them. You spent a little bit of time with it and you didn't even know how to use a synth in the first place. So, now when all you're doing is selling yourself short, like a lot of the times. Now, is this, this doesn't replace a key-based rig, right? This is something that is its own thing, right? But I would say the Future Impact replaces a key-based rig, like legit, like replaces it sound quality-wise, just as good. Sounds like a lot of the analog vintage synths. While the MXR bass synth is not that, it is a nice, configurable, relatively simple bass synth. It's a real bass synth. It does track well. The Future Impact and the Enzo X, the Enzo X does poly mode, so it does have like a whole advantage on that and other effects that make it have quite a few advantages over these two pedals. That's why I'm not really including it right now. But Future Impact definitely hits you with all the vintage you can get. While this, I like this as its own thing, like so I can. Saw wave come in. You might have to wear headphones. So you can really get some nice sounds out of this little unit, and especially if you're not experienced with synth, I would just say take the time to learn the parameters. You still have to use the menu. Not the menu, the manual. I said the menu. The manual. It doesn't have any menus to go through. You have to memorize parameters. So so basically what you got as synth controls, you pretty much have six primary parameters and then another six parameters that are secondary, and then another third that is more like global global settings and things like that. So you got to memorize I have to just know that when I hold down voice and I turn these different knobs, what it is. So if I hold down voice for the first orange knob on top, that's going to bring in more of the upper voice. And so in order for me to get this, I have to hold down voice. And if I want more of the unison pitch versus the upper octaves, right? So we can actually leave that. Even on this one, if I decide to make this one a little less subby, keep some of that. So now when I blend the two, I can have like a little solo thing up top that's a saw wave and still have a nice So, you can have it anywhere in between those. But I find, I am replying to the chat. I'm just not going to type. I'm not typing. That's not going to happen. So, I don't know. What are these Twitch bots that be on here talking about can you chat? No, I'm not chatting in today. What is these robots on here? But yeah, so it's actually, what I will say is the unit surprised me in its flexibility, versus it's not, now granted, Future Impact V4 VIP is basically a vintage synth. It is about as close as you're going to get in a digital pedal, in my opinion, terms of sound, and it does track well, play the keyboard, but this it's like the sounds I create with it have their own charm to them. Even though that's not the greatest synth sound, it really does give me that, it's like a cheaper synth sound to it. And then you can simply just morph it into different stuff from there. But should I save that? Y'all feel free to comment in the chat. Let me know how everything look, all that good stuff. Make sure everything on track here. Make sure we looking good, feeling good. Everybody chime in, say hi. You know what I'm saying? Got any questions about pedalboard setup and stuff? So, just for the sake of clarity, it's pretty much this smaller board here running into this board, and then this board runs into this board, and then that runs into the mixer. So I like to have like a modular setup with the pedal board rather than just like one big massive board. I have a Terranova 42 down there that's the size of a 61 key keyboard, and it's a hassle and it gets heavy. Having it in 3 different setups allows me to be able to take everything or just one piece I need. If I need this little smaller board, this is the main bass stuff, like bass gig stuff. That's why, the MXR and the Future Impact and the 2 ToneX pedals are down here. By the way, if you haven't already, go to the description and check out the ToneX 1 signature bass collection pedal. It's amazing. It does have some really great sounds, and it also comes with a bunch of software, like 4 different applications, 4 different apps, and one of them is Amplitude, which is one of my favorite recording softwares and stuff. But you also can use ToneX stuff within that software and mix it with everything that they give you in there. So that is a really awesome deal for, I think these are going for $199. So, if you want to help the channel out, click the link, get you a ToneX 1 through the link, or a ToneX pedal, either one. But I definitely would recommend that you get the bass version, because the bass version is going to ultimately give you all access to the bass amps without paying any extra money. So it's at $199, it's a great deal. You know what I'm saying? So check it out on the link is in the description if you want to help out the channel. You've been on the fence about a ToneX 1. But you've been listening to it for however many videos if you've been following me. But even now you're listening to it I have a tone model of the JHS color box on here right now. And I find that's the way, like if saving 2 different oscillator types on here. So like right now it's on the triangle, then it's on a saw wave. I can now combine those 2 on this side. I appreciate that. Favorite memory of what in particular? I don't have a favorite pedal, as you can tell. So it's impossible to have a favorite pedal, for me, because there's so many sounds I like to get to from different people. It's not even a question if more pedals are coming or going. Like I said, I'm selling off like 8 different pedals now. Got them listed on Facebook Marketplace. Probably list them on Reverb.com. But I got about 8 different pedals. I may get rid of one more, and just because when you get rid of stuff, then you don't have a whole bunch of stuff hanging around for no reason. But the only way I found to combine those oscillator sounds, not about. My favorite memories in life would probably be my kids being born. That's about it. Those are my favorite memories. Those things you can't. Everything else, I can do it again or experience again for the most part, but I ain't having no more kids, so I'm done with that. But the only way to really combine those oscillators is like that. I kind of want to do something different with this top one. So even doing like that, like it's like I would have to pull some of that brightness out of that saw wave. I don't mind how that. I'm gonna let the LFO operate the. There we go. Now the LFO is controlling the filter. So that's another thing you can do with the. You can use this like a LFO filter. So say I wanted to, bam. Trying to work out this filter. Trying to remember which one is the. Is there any good synth pedals that aren't crazy expensive? You know, they aren't. Depends on what you consider crazy expensive. The MXR pedal is $300 pretty much. It's about $285, something like that. But they're sold out just about everywhere at the moment. So, but Future Impact, I got that for $350. I got that directly from the Panda Audio website. Got that for $350. You know, and the Enzo X, which is this big golden pedal, which can do all types of synth sounds and grabs great modulations and chorus and delay and everything else in there. Filters are awesome. You know, that's about $600. So it depends on your budget. I would say if you're really on a budget, I mean, there isn't really any synth pedal. The thing about synth pedal is you better off just putting the money up for a good one. You feel me? You'd be better off than going through a bunch of cheap ones that ain't gonna track well, ultimately not sound well. You know what I'm saying? I know about all the other bass synth pedals on the market at the moment, and it's a reason why I haven't budged and got a lot of them. You know, versus getting these three that are absolutely amazing in their own rights. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, MXR, don't get that expecting it to be able to get to Michael Jackson's synths. You know what I'm saying? You can, matter of fact, let me go and say this, and I'll come back to this sound. I'm just going to say that. I'll come back to that, but that's the closest I've been able to get it. Like, I don't use any of the stock presets, but the closest I've been able to get to that sound is this. And I didn't create this from the stock presets or anything. So, like, actually, did I create these online? I think I might have did these while I was online during the live stream, but compared to the Future Impact, So, just two different. That is spot on to the record. Well, using a computer versus a pedal, I mean, what are you trying to do exactly? Like, I'm not sure what you're trying to do, so I can't really give you advice on what to do other than your criteria was money. If your criteria is money, I'm gonna say make sure that you can save up and just a little bit longer and get what you need. Bass synth pedal isn't an emergency, but if you buy the wrong one and you get stuck with it, now you got a crappy pedal and you stuck with it. That's terrible. Nobody want that. You'd be better off. And if you rush when you get a bass synth pedal, you might miss out because you haven't spent enough time with it, and you got to get it back by a certain time because you don't even know if you like it or not. So the tough part is, generally one of the reasons why my channel exists is because I do these long form type things, and what this allows you to do is catch the flaws of different pedals and things like that. And a lot of times you're seeing these little 10-minute reviews and they're just doing a 20 seconds of and then it's like, okay, I still can't tell if the pedal tracks well. I still can't tell the versatility in the sounds. Like, a lot of times they're using just the stock sounds. I don't use stock presets. You will absolutely miss out on great pedals only wanting to use the stock presets, I'm gonna just put it where it is, being lazy, not wanting to explore, not wanting to have to learn, not wanting to have to do anything other than just pick it up and do it, and that's not going to help you in the long run anyway. So you want to get into synth pedals, you know what I'm saying? Do some research. Usually, on the Future Impact, I've done 1 million videos on that, done 1 million videos on the Enzo X. I'm working my way through 1 million videos on the MXR bass synth. Like even this one, this wasn't supposed to be about this pedal. This is just an ambient bass effects morning, but, y'all ended up getting some MXR bass synth tips. Trying to get some of these sound. You play guitar? Okay. Recently started using the Nero DSP plugins. They are pretty good. Just download it. See, right? Yeah. So one thing I will recommend, if you do want to use the computer, maybe check out something, a nice MIDI controller, something that you can pretty much use your computer. Like, for instance, if I'm going to use Guitar Rig, I like to use Guitar Rig. It's one of my favorite plugins. Guitar Rig and Amplitude and ToneX now are three of my favorite. Like you must have those in your arsenal. They will cover everything. Like, those three apps will cover everything for bass. Guitar Rig, ToneX, and Amplitude. Now, if you get a ToneX one through the link in the description, you know what I'm saying, it helps me out. And you'll get all that. You'll get 2 of those within that. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to buy them separately. It comes with that pedal. And you can just get Guitar Rig. And Guitar Rig is going to have some amazing reverbs and compressors. Modulations in there are very unique, and they sound amazing, great quality. I got a bunch of videos on Guitar Rig too on the channel, so you can check that out if you're interested in that. But just get you a good MIDI controller, like something like the MIDI Captain will work, or I've used a Xsonic Xtone Pro, where it was an audio interface, and it also has 6 stomp box switches on there where you can assign them to anything in the app. And you had 3 pages of that, so ultimately with that pedal you can do control up to 18 different parameters, and you have an audio interface, stereo in and out with a mic input and a DI box and MIDI all in one pedal. So I would suggest maybe try one of those out, see how that works for your setup. But so, like I said, the Future Impact. that's the exact sound from Thriller. That's it's not even a little bit off. Like I literally did a whole video on trying. Y'all almost got me demonetized on it. It's like nah, but I definitely had to split some of that revenue with MJ Crew when I did the just trying to show you guys how close and how almost exact it is to the actual Thriller bass sound. So yeah, I'll probably get around to trying them out at some point, but um, for the most part, I've been doing a lot of I know people that have the what is that? That's the same. Ain't that the same company that does the Quad Cortex? Yeah, I believe that's the same. Is that? I believe so. So as you can, the Future Impact has a few extra things that allows it to be beefier than the MXR bass synth just in general. Like this is the bass synth versus now I will say ToneX has better amp models all day. ToneX has way better amp models than Quad. That's just me. That's just my opinion. That's why I use ToneX. You know what I'm saying? Like it just plus they beat them and they beat them on price by so much. It's just not even ridiculous. You can have two ToneX ones like this on your pedal board in size and have access to some amazing amp models. So even if you have a Quad Cortex, a ToneX might still be worth checking out for you because you're gonna, in my opinion, you're gonna get an upgrade with the amp models. You know what I'm saying? And that's why. And the other thing, I want you guys to understand that these multi effects units are getting good, but it's a reason why people still go with the individual pedals for their serious setups a lot of times. Now you will, I use the ToneX, but how am I going to get this bass synth sound out of the multi effects pedal? I'm just not going to be able to, or with the Future Impact does, or the exact saturation that the Empress, gives your sound. How am I going to get that out of those units by themselves? I'd have to have these individual pedals. Same thing with the Mel 9, Key 9, Ravish Sitar, the vocoder pedal, C4 synth, the Hog 2. Like there isn't no multi-effect unit that'll do the octaves in the way that the Hog 2 will do them, or what the Enzo X would do, with the synth and stuff. So that's and the reason I have analog filters right here is because none of the digital filters sound like these analog filters. They get you close enough for a gig, get you through. Like I take my ToneX sometimes, my ToneX ones. I take one of them by itself to a gig. I did it all last Sunday. I had a few services. I just took the ToneX one. It's got compressor, noise gate, modulation, delay, reverb. Now, it's not extensive parameters. You're not going to be able to tweak and have a million compressors and everything else. But for the most part, a ToneX one as a bass player definitely will get you straight through a gig. Yeah, I say the pedals are going to be better for another reason too. This is something people overlook with the plugins. Um, the reason, so for one, this ToneX one is running at 24-bit, 192 kilohertz, right, with virtually no latency, right? It's optimized for what it's doing. The computer is optimized for a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes running, some computers have trouble running at 24-bit 192 kilohertz with low latency. Like if me running the ToneX app from my MacBook Pro, I can get the same sound quality, but I can't get the same latency at the same sound quality. If that it makes sense, but like, so basically I could get the same sound quality, but I get all this time between when I play the note and when I hear the sound, if you don't know what latency is. So, something that happens with a lot of digital devices or little like plugins in the computer, you have to try to set the latency down, while with the pedals, it's already optimized for live performance. That's why I can turn this off and that's actually the Mark Bass Big Bang. Like that latency is like virtually not existent at all. Like you can hear when my string is hitting in the mic. That's why I left the mic on. Well, I mean, I used to have an electric bike company. I used to build custom electric bikes, so I know how to do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? I've done a little. I definitely used to build a lot of custom electric bikes for folks. That's one of the things I used to do. So yeah, I had a little bit of experience working with electricity, but I'm not an electrical engineer. I ain't going that far. It's crazy how good stuff is. It used to only be the stuff over the last 15 years definitely has gotten really good. I've had things like the Zoom B3. Now I have the Zoom B6. Zoom B6 is miles above where the Zoom B3 was. You know what I'm saying? Even these synth pedals weren't even possible. They were possible a few, 15 years ago because, the deep impact and stuff been out. But the latency was always the issue, and the tracking with the latency, something that you don't really have as much of an issue. It's still somewhat, they still working on it. They actually got, really good. Oh yeah, I know. Hey, feel free to joke around. I don't take offense to none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I prefer y'all chat, have fun, throw your jokes out there. Say whoever you think I look like, all that other good stuff. I've gotten, who I got on here? I got Steve Harvey. I got I got a few people. Sometimes y'all irritated, man. They be coming up all these names, calling me everybody under the sun. Anybody my complexion that's bald and got a beard, boy, that's who you look like. I tell you. But bam, 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 bam. But yeah, so a lot of what I haven't seen with the MXR pedal is like people just really doing not using just the presets, please do not get this pedal or any other pedal and then be mad at the manufacturers that the presets weren't that amazing. They just a starting point. If you don't know nothing at all, if they gave you the pedal, you wouldn't be able to come up with anything. Like, use the presets as your starting points, and then from there, you know what I'm saying, start to figure out what the actual parameters do. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that, you know. And I'm not, what 770s or 990s? I'm not sure what that is. What are you referring to? But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, Kill. Yeah. So like, it's like, even now, like when I did a lot of these presets, like this preset right here, I haven't done a secondary preset for. So now I got a chance to just start from scratch. Right. So I'm gonna scratch for me. It's gonna sound something like this. Right? Just like a basic oscillator. Right? I gotta pick which oscillator I want to go with. Oh, I don't know. Let me see. These are 770. Look, I don't even. I like these ones. They're pretty good. Only thing I don't like is these little cloth joints. You gotta keep them clean. I sweat a lot. But these are the 80 ohm versions. Right, so we can start there. We can start on a square wave. And this is with no resonance, with the filter just completely open. Triangle wave, I actually like to have it like I'd rather have the triangle wave like more of an open setting, like a like just with the cutoff more up. Maybe even add some good amount of resonance. Right, so I just cranked up the resonance quite a bit. Gonna add some envelope. We'll do one with like a medium there. Bring in some sub octave. Change this envelope amount. I'm not a fan of that. It's got a lot of bottom. Let's change the gain. get some nasty sounds out this joint for real. Like you just gotta really experiment. A lot of people, like I said, they were getting them and just sending them out or reselling them immediately. Like that's actually how I got a hold of this unit. Somebody bought it. It came in the mail. They played with it for very little, and they decided, luckily decided they didn't like it. Got me one quick. But yeah, so like every preset is just like multiple. See there, that's gotta be, that's 2 oscillators right there. This is 3 oscillators. Then when we meet those 2 towards the middle, now we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I said. You gotta, something like this, you'd be better off just using it as like its own synth. Like approach it like a Moog itself. You wouldn't approach a Moog trying to be something else, trying to make the Moog something else. Like you would just get the pedal, get the synth and try to find something musical to do with it. It's the same thing with this pedal. I don't want you guys to get it and think when you play those presets, it's not going to sound as good. It's just not, they don't sound great like that. To me, the presets, but the rest of the pedal is amazing. Like for what it is, like to be honest, for the simplicity of it, the tracking is good. Like, and I can get my sounds to be pretty beefy on it. I keep hearing like sounds that sound like a toy. Like these, that's a real synth. Why ain't nobody doing no sounds like that with it? Like, what we doing? And that's almost like reminiscent of like that synthwall, Digitech synthwall type. And so like this one, I would need to turn down the gain a bit. Just because it's this little pedal loud. Like I will give them that much. They got the value. 10,000 on this joint. So you getting up to what I think of, the way I'm thinking of it is like you can have up to 6 oscillators to a certain extent. Because think about it, if I got one there, got it there, and there. Now let's. the other thing I love about it is when you're approaching it from, so like when you're coming, so say I'm heel down and I'm approaching the middle. Until I get to the middle, that preset is going to be the dominant one. So this is me before just getting towards the middle. So all that's still the first heel down preset is still more dominant there. But the moment I go over that like halfway mark, you know, now I can dial it back and add in some of the previous preset. That's pretty cool that you can literally have two different synth like presets and just have them melting back and forth, and you didn't have to do a whole bunch of mapping and stuff. Like that is one thing that makes this pedal like it definitely put it on another level for me. It's one thing to have the 8 presets. It's another thing to have the secondary presets. Then it's another thing to be able to morph between the two seamlessly to where the parameters, like you can get that 6 oscillator type synth in there on either side of the presets, like expression pedal. It's just, that's fire. You know, I would recommend this for anybody that, if you know nothing about synth, like you should get the MXR bass synth. If you are experienced with bass synths, like the Bass Novation Station and all that stuff, you should get the Future Impact. Because the Future Impact, one thing you can do is like you don't need to hook up a separate bass rig, key bass rig. All you need to do is take your pedal board as it is, like if it's on your pedal board like mine, and you just run a MIDI controller. A lot of times churches will have extra keyboards, or you know, you go to gigs, you can just request, if you got a rider, you can just request a keyboard, a MIDI keyboard, and just run your Future Impact. And that's going to get you all your vintage, you know, Moog, ARP 2600 type sounds. All that's doable from the Future Impact. It's not doable for real from the bass synth. Like not on a major tour level. Like you could take the Future Impact on a major tour and use that as your key bass rig, and nobody's going to complain. I could guarantee you nobody's going to complain about the Future Impact, unless you didn't set the bass synths up right. But you know what you can do if you're having trouble with it? You can go to my Patreon and get my preset packs for any of that or any of the other pedals that you know, for me for using the Zoom Multi-Stomps, MS-60B Plus, MS-70 CDR Plus, the Future Impact V4 VIP, the Enzo X, 11 different preamp packs available for the ToneX pedals and software. You know what I'm saying? So, and the Zoom B6. Got a Zoom B6 pack on there where I put together a good amount of sounds for you guys, and the C4 synth. C4 synth is on there as well. So go check out my preset packs, or if you want to support the channel more, you can do that through the Patreon subscription, or you can join the memberships on the channel, and that also helps as well. So for sure. But you would have to do so much mapping on a regular synth, or know what you're doing to get from that sound to this sound, from this sound to this sound. So many parameters have to be mapped properly. Like, and it's doing it in real time. As it's tracking me play, I'm not hearing any glitch when I'm doing it. That's crazy. I know it don't seem like that's a big deal, but trust and believe it absolutely is a big deal. Like, and it's not easy to necessarily do with a synth pedal. Now, the Enzo X and the Future Impact absolutely can do that. Like, you can morph between settings. You won't be even oscillators. If you wanted to, you can map up to 6 parameters. I think it's 12 actually, because you could do a modifier and expression pedal. You can map up to like 12 parameters on the Enzo X between the modifier switch and the expression pedal. Of course, you're going to be able to morph between sounds if you do that. And with the Future Impact, you also have these things called flexi control. You can set up parameters through there and have that control a ton of different parameters and morph between things just like that. The main difference being, yes, those two units are higher sound quality. I just have to say that it costs a little more, but they're more higher sound quality. But you also have to be a little bit more knowledgeable and a little more patient, a little bit more just willing to explore when it comes to the Future Impact and the Enzo X. This pretty much, you pick if you just being simple with it, you pick an oscillator sound. I'm trying to debate if I want to save these. That joint's so much heavier. It's like you can I'm gonna just save that for now. You just hold to save things. You just hold the preset button, pick the slot, and then hold it again. Save it. So let's go over here to the live mode. This little, it'll keep you in. It'll definitely keep you working on stuff for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But the main gist again. So one thing I want to do is so that's my dry bass. Trying to remember which one of these is which control is it? Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. You know what I'm saying? We in there though. Where we at? Come on. Here we go. So I want to mix in drive through. Okay, that's where I wanted to be anyway. That's fine. Just trying to get like a filter sound out of this thing. So now I'm also want to try put this joint on the LFO. That's interesting. So I'm trying to get a filter setting. So I got it running off of the LFO currently. So the filter is not operating on my dynamics right now. It's operating on off of that. But if I want to change that, I can just do it. Change the amount. So now we're gonna get back into the sim. And again, another tip for you guys, don't try to play the bass synth stuff down here. I don't know what everybody's fetish with playing bass synth and octave pedals in this range, in the regular bass playing range. You need to be playing above the low B on the E string, at least. From here, from this fret on up. Really, I say if you want to be super safe and get the best tracking, from the 12th fret and up is gets you the best results, in my opinion. And then you cut your bass frequency. Now this for this particular pedal is tracking. And each pedal you got to kind of experiment. The biggest thing when you experiment with a tracking pedal is your EQ. The majority of them like you to boost your high mids, including the MXR bass synth, boost your high mids and cut your lows. So generally you get much better tracking that way. Which sounds like, and you can even cut some of those highs if they make an extra noise for you. And some of that I need to change the gate sensitivity. Change it in. Yep. There we go. Yeah, so we can bring it up a little bit. So if you find this like skipping notes when you're trying to get it to track, I would suggest doing that. Playing with the gate sensitivity. You don't want it too sensitive because then when you're gonna it's gonna play obviously when you don't want it to. It's like, no, I'm playing with y'all. But yeah, you can actually use that as a kick sound. See, it's all about being creative. See, now I gotta keep that. See, this where being creative. I could have heard that sound and just heard anything, you know what I'm saying? But you just start exploring sounds. So yeah, one of the main reasons why I like doing this little ambient bass effects series is it kind of allows me to get to, well, it allows me on camera to get to ideas that I might have got to and never got around to actually sharing to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not, for me, I can make an entire song out of that, but sometimes you just write these little grooves and things like that real quick, and you don't really, I always store them because when you can come back later and that might be useful. Sometimes you need some of the more simple ideas because you don't want to give away all your good stuff. Sometimes you might be just doing some little project that might just need a little groove. Bam, throw something like that on there and get it out of there. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to lose all those ideas. That's why I loop a lot, keep a looper around. I use a Jamman Digitech Jamman Solo HD, the newer one. And, it just allows me to, stretch out as well. And with practicing, it makes practice fun. You know what I'm saying? That way I am, targeting certain things still, but it makes it more fun than just having to sit there play scales and stuff like that. So that's another way you can get in a lot of practice, just getting into a basic groove like that and kind of just rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? Just having fun with it. So that's all I'm going to do for now, guys. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. This has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Ambient Bass Afternoons. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. I definitely appreciate all you guys chiming in, the usual suspects and the new folks. I appreciate you guys. Head over to the Patreon, check out all my preset packs and different things like that. If you like some of the sounds you were hearing, they're more than likely available on the Patreon. So check that out. And if you want to support the channel more, you like these type of things, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe and do all that good stuff. Follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus, and you can check out my actual original music that's, produced and all that other stuff on allbasscreations.bandcamp. And I will catch you guys later. Take it easy. Peace. Thank you. Appreciate you.